Well, welcome back to Aiden Pesce. I haven't posted a recipe in a while, but I'm back, and I'm back in this marvelous new kitchen. The reason I haven't posted in a while is because we were moving into our first house, and we're just working on getting settled, but I have an amazing, delicious recipe for you today. Okay, so to start this recipe, we're gonna make our Bao Buns dough. We're going to start by combining 1 cup of lukewarm water to a large bowl or stand mixer, then 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of yeast. And then we're going to give that a little whisk. The fact is, you don't actually need a stand mixer. I highly recommend that you have a stand mixer, but you don't actually need it. It does make life in the kitchen a lot easier. So I do highly recommend that you go out and get one now. So you're gonna let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes or until it becomes foamy. Then once it's foamy, add 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Then add a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Now you're going to fit your stand mixer with a dough hook attachment. We're looking for a dough that is soft and elastic. You'll want to knead it for about 8 to 10 minutes to develop the gluten, which will give us that perfect bao texture. Kneading dough in a stand mixer has several key benefits. It develops gluten efficiently for a better dough structure, saves time compared to hand kneading, and ensures consistent results. It also reduces physical effort, especially with tough or sticky doughs, and allows you to multitask while the stand mixer does the work. Overall, it's a great tool for making the kneading process faster, easier, and more effective. So our dough is nice and smooth and elastic, as you can see right here. And when you press down on it, it should spring right back. Okay. That shows that the gluten is developed. This is smooth on the top. It's not sticky. It's very elasticy, you can tell with the gluten developed. You're going to take your dough and plop it into a greased bowl and cover it with a damp rag. And we're gonna let this sit in a warm place for 1 hour to 2 hours or until your dough has doubled in size. See you then. Now we're going to make our Korean barbecue sauce. You can either choose to use a blender, which is much faster. You just add all the ingredients in, blend it, then put it in a pot and heat it up. Or you can just make it all in the pot. Just make sure anything that's solid you cut up, obviously, since you're not cutting it in the blender. I'm gonna do it the blender way because it's a lot easier and quicker. To the blender, add 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. For the soy sauce, you can either choose to use sodium or low sodium. I'm using sodium, but it doesn't really matter. Then add 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of gochujang, or you can use red chili flakes or sriracha. And the purpose of the honey and the spicy gochujang is to balance out the flavors, sweet and spicy. Always balance out. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. You only need to mince it if it's going into the pot. If you're just putting it in the blender, you can just use whole garlic. I used about 3 cloves, but it depends on the size of the garlic you're using. And now we're going to use a tablespoon of grated ginger. I'm just using a zester for this. And now we're gonna use a teaspoon of red chili flakes. This is all about the heat. If you'd like to minimize the amount of heat, you can decrease this or take it out completely. But if you'd like a little more heat, you can add a little more. This is where you can change the amount of spice in your sauce. 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. And just so you know, rice vinegar and rice wine vinegar is the same thing. All the wine means is just to emphasize that it's fermented. So they're the exact same thing. If you have rice wine vinegar or rice vinegar, you can use either. Doesn't matter. And now we are going to create the thickening agent. We're going to add a teaspoon of cornstarch. When cornstarch gets heated, it thickens the sauce. And now we're going to put the lid on the blender and, well, Blend it up. And now we're gonna take our sauce and add it to a medium heat saucepan. This is when you're gonna wanna stir it with a whisk until it becomes thick, then you'll take it off the heat. So our sauce is very thick, as you can see, so we're gonna remove it off the heat. And now we're going to taste. This is what you want, a nappe consistency. It means it's thick enough to coat the back of the spoon without it dripping off. Now we're gonna taste. Whoa, that packs a powerful punch. Now, I said a powerful punch, but not as powerful as that habanero. Oh my God! Now, we're making an aioli. This is optional. This is just for extra spice. What is an aioli?
Alexa.
Well, I'm glad
what is an aioli?
Lemon juice and a little cold water are added.
To a bowl, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of mayo, then 1 tablespoon of sriracha.
I saw it as soon as you picked it up.
Oh.
A little bit.
And we mix. This is going to be a sweet, spicy sauce, not as powerful as the Korean barbecue sauce. Now we taste. Now, to make this more vibrant, we're going to add a little bit of lime or lemon juice. Let's taste the modified aioli. That definitely does bring much more balance in between the flavors versus just mayo and sriracha. I highly recommend you using it. Let's get our meats. Here we have chicken and pork belly. You can choose to use chicken or pork belly. It doesn't matter which you choose, but we're doing both today. We're gonna take our Korean barbecue sauce, which we would use as a dipping sauce, but we're gonna use it as a nice thin layer of a marinade for the meats. So just take a basting brush and brush the meats.
Sit, Max. Wait patiently, maybe he'll give you some.
And now our meat is brushed. So what I've gone ahead and done is our dough is doubled in size. Now you want to steam the bao buns. So get a double boiler ready. All a double boiler is a pot or pan with water in it. You're gonna get that boiling. And a steamer or a bowl on top. For bao buns, we're gonna have a bamboo steamer. So if you don't have one of these, go out and get one. This bamboo steamer has multiple compartments, so you can do double the amount of steaming in one period of time. What we're gonna do with this dough, punch it down. We're gonna deflate all that yeast's hard work. Now, before we start rolling out our bao buns, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. We have an air fryer built into our oven, so we're using that. You don't need that. If you don't have it built in, just bake. It'll just take a little extra more time. Now I'm gonna get some oil that we're gonna brush the dough with. So just pour it into a little ramekin. And now we're going to lightly flour our surface and dump out our dough. Now, using our bench scraper, we're going to divide this dough into golf ball sized pieces, about the size of the palm of your hand. Now we're going to take a rolling pin and we're going to roll out our dough into a circle shape, just the size you want your bao buns. You don't want it to be too thin when you steam it and it doesn't puff up as much as it should. So you can either choose to use parchment paper or perforated parchment paper that fits your steam basket. This is perforated parchment paper. It is a circle with the size of the basket with holes in it so the steam can come out and steam the buns. But you could just use regular parchment paper, just cut that into squares and place this onto it. Now, with this, we're going to lightly brush it with a little bit of oil. Fold it over, and you're going to set this on your tray. And just repeat that process until all your dough is rolled out. Now you want to make sure you don't overcrowd this, so steam can still come up through these little tiny holes. Now we're going to cover this with a damp rag and put it in a warm place to rise for about 30 minutes, or until these have poofed up. This recipe is a labor of love, and it takes time, so you have to be patient, but I promise it is worth every bite when you finish. But if you are finding value in this video, like this video and consider subscribing to my community. So after you have cleaned up your mess and your dough is finished proofing, you're going to open your bamboo steamer and you're going to carefully place the dough into one of the compartments. Now make sure you do not do this aggressively. Make sure you are very gentle because you do not want to deflate all that hard work the yeast just produced. You're going to do that for both layers. You're going to put them all together, lock them in place. You're going to steam these buns in the bamboo steamer over a pot of boiling water, and you're going to do that for 10 minutes. Do not open it up, because if you open this up while it's steaming, you're going to have a sad looking bao. It's going to deflate and it's not going to look that great. Our bao buns are finished steaming, so we're just going to pull them from the pan. Do not use your bare hands. I was being stupid and this has also been cooling. And now we're going to let this rest for 5 minutes. Still, do not open it. This is finished resting, and we're going to reveal the food that took 3 hours to make. Here it is. Look at that. Look how fluffy this is. These look really good. And, well, I am not the first one who made it within my family. My dad did make it first. You can check out his video. Thank you to Dad for helping me understand and learn what these are. Thank you for teaching me how to cook.
That's right.
And everything else I know.
You're welcome.
Besides math, science, and ELA. It is so fluffy, and I am excited. And he is really excited to try it. Here, you wanna try, Max? He will be the taste tester. Tell us how it is, Max.
3 hours of work.
He says he wants more. He likes it. Now, let's see if I like it. These are amazing.
Are you lying?
They are fluffy, and honestly, I think I made them better than my dad.
Whatever.
Okay, you want to try? And now, you can assemble them however you'd like. We have the Korean barbecue sauce. We have the sriracha aioli. We have pork belly, chicken, and our garnishes, green onions, fresh cucumbers, and cilantro. Enjoy to play around with any combinations you'd like. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to my channel.
No, subscribe to my channel, Riley Pesce.
No, subscribe to my channel, Would You DIY?
Wait a minute. None of them would be here without me if I didn't start the first YouTube channel. So subscribe to Pesce's Kitchen, Food Service Education, and all the other channels that I have.
Let's eat.